ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. In today's match, I have a game view between SLAYERSBOXER up in the top left, and EGINKA is the blue Protoss in the right-hand side of this map. This is Shattered Temple. Now let me talk about these players just a little before this game gets underway. EGINKA used to be a Terran player when he first started playing StarCraft in 2001. And let me tell you, he was a pretty good Terran player, not amazing. Took part in a couple of European teams, and then he switched to Protoss. Now he's a full-time Protoss player, and that was right around when he started playing Protoss, or StarCraft in general, competitively. He is now part of the EG team, Evil Geniuses, alongside players like Idra. So his practice partners, man, they're not something to take lightly, and neither is EGINKA. So I don't need to even introduce SLAYERSBOXER. I mean, he is the legendary boxer, the guy that everyone knows for doing proxy racks, lots of tactical play with things like Ghost. Very, very talented Terran player. He has made over $300,000 a year playing StarCraft annually. That's American dollars, man. This guy is very successful. Came 4th in a GSL in 2010. Like, absolutely phenomenal player. And he actually wins a lot of OSLs. I don't know if you guys watch OSL. It's not one of the more watched leagues in America, but the guy's all over the place. And if you don't know Slayers MMA is another very gifted Terran player who just actually won the last MLG this year. So yeah, man, another guy with amazing practice partners, a great clan, and he is actually the leader of Slayers as far as I know. I don't know if that's still true. I could be wrong. I don't know. Who knows? But we have the makings of a very good game ahead of us. So hopefully that is what this is. I have not watched this game yet, so I will be excited with you guys. And we are seeing a pretty standard opening from EGINKA. But I mean, what can you do other than, you know, 2 gates before a cyber? That's the only really alternative to this. So we are going to see that cyber after the first gate, nothing special. A second gas down though, and that says that we are not going to see a 4 gate. I mean, it could be faked, but that's generally a pretty good sign. The next sign would be to look for energy on the Nexus. Is he spending all his chrono? If not, we are probably... Well, I guess the biggest thing is, what is he spending his chrono on? Is he saving it to chrono out that warp tech, or is he spending it on resources? Resources like probes would generally say that he's going for a high-tech build. Things like Robo or Void Rays, something like that, or maybe really investing into like a fast expand, something like that. But so far, no chrono going down on the Cyber Core. We are seeing no chrono spent on anything but workers so far. But over to the Terran player, we are seeing a really ballsy fast expansion. That is after 1 racks with a tech lab and that wall that I always bitch about. I always bitch about this wall, and people love it. And a lot of people have straight up told me it's to hide tech, but really haven't given me a good reason as to why this is better than any other wall. I mean, a lot of people I've seen build their first racks in here and build their second racks farther back, throw their add-on down on that, and then move their barracks once they're done and replace this wall with a bunker. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling right now, but I really don't like this wall. I think there are better alternatives, and a lot of high-level Terrans do this, so I've got to be wrong, but no one has ever really given me a good reason as to why this is better than using your production so that you can move it later when you don't need to wall and that you don't lose supply when you get attacked. Anyway, we are seeing SLAYERSBOXER push into the middle of the map, and he's going to kill a probe. And I'm sure that probe has had better days. This is not on the list of those good days. But EGINKA does have a stalker and a sentry. The sentry would be able to force field the ramp and allow EGINKA to get what he needs out. We are seeing Robo Tech coming out for EGINKA after only 2 gates. Although I think it was a 1 gate Robo. And an Observer comes out before an Immortal, which I think he knows... Well, he must not know that he pulled back from the tower, but he's confident enough that this sentry can hold the door in the meantime. So that Robo is gonna, that Immortal is gonna come out, and we are seeing a pylon. I thought it was something exciting, but it was a pylon. I guess that could be exciting. And SLAYERSBOXER's got a pesky little SCV just parked right back here. So he will scout this. Whatever is built by EGINKA's probe will get spotted by the SCV. And it looks like we're going to see the Protoss player push out. EGINKA is ready to do some sort of aggression. An observer here for spotting the high ground. And back here, that SCV is seeing everything. And this probe, I don't know what EGINKA is going to be watching, if he even notices that SCV there. And I'm curious as to how this is going to go. I mean, really, this army is quite capable of dealing with EGINKA if he plays his cards right. But look at this, high ground is spotted, and SLAYERSBOXER is now supply blocked. This is why I hate this wall. And if SLAYERSBOXER comes down the ramp, a force field will cut that army in half. It will be trampled by EGINKA's army. So really, all he can do is sit here and watch his supply depots sniped. And I don't understand why people wall like this. Don't get it! In fact, you shouldn't even wall against Protoss, in my opinion. Put your production structures back here, put a bunker here. But, you know, EGINKA is showing you what I mean, and this is not going well for SLAYERSBOXER. But one Zealot is going to get picked off, and getting a little ballsy with that probe, or not probe, observer. The observer reveals its location by moving around. That allowed SLAYERSBOXER to see it, scan it, and kill it. And now, EGINKA coming into the second observer, gonna be able to see everything anyway. And I don't know if that's a good idea. Nice force fields, but I mean, the Terran player is still in range to do damage, and he might get a stalker. He's gonna get that sentry. The sentry goes down, and that was not a good trade at all for EGINKA in the end. I mean, he could have backed out without losing everything. He got a little bit gutsy with his observer, lost that, and then he got even more gutsy. He lost sentry, he lost all his zealots, he lost a stalker, going to units lost. It looks like, okay, so the Protoss player is still ahead, but not by much. Not by much. I think a lot of that that money in the units lost tab is the supply depots. So he was playing really strong at the start, but he gave that up pretty quick. And I don't think SLAYERSBOXER needed to lose those supply depots. They could have been placed somewhere else with a bunker there. They could have been salvaged later, and I'm going to stop bitching about that because I'm sure you guys are sick of it. But that's what I think, man. This is what I think. So EGINKA's sitting back here. He's got a reasonable army now. And instead of going Colossus, he is pumping those Immortals, but not quite enough money in the bank to pump out any Colossus right now. Anyway, we are seeing a lot of gateways coming down with a forge. So 2 gateways and a forge, as well as a dark shrine. So might be using my picture-in-picture here. We'll see how EGINKA decides to use those DTs. So guys, just, I know sometimes it's hard to notice that the picture-in-picture is there, but keep an eye on it in case some cheesing happens, because I think it might be in our future. SLAYERSBOXER is going to float this factory around. He doesn't feel he needs it, which, you know, to each their own. But it's definitely an excellent scouting tool. Instead of wasting your scans, just float float a health bank over your opponent's base and see what you need to see before you can kill it. That's generally how that works. So we're seeing a DT across the map. And what kind of damage is it going to do? An observer also moving around, seeing what it needs to see. And a DT is going to get that SCV, so free SCV, why not? And SLAYERSBOXER is just creeping forward with this impending Doom factory. And a DT does scout that. He's going to try to take some shots at the army. Is the scan going to go down? No scan yet. Force fields go down, cutting up this army. A scan does go down in the end, killing that poor DT who was trapped on the other side of these force fields. So I feel those were excellent force fields by EGINKA. He needs to micro this Immortal away or it will get sniped. The Immortal's going down right away. More force fields going down for EGINKA. Brilliantly placed. And another scan going down to get rid of some pesky DTs. Also scanning the high ground. Getting some free shots at the stalkers up there. And this is quite the engagement, man. I don't know. It looks like EGINKA's coming out way on top here. And he's going to be pushing out with his impressive gateway count. And this factory is just going to float around here. It's like, whatever, man. I can do what I want. I do what I want when I want. And South Park comes to mind. I don't know why. But I do what I want. Whatever. But that DT died a horrible death. He just wanted to be friends. He's showing you the cool side blades he just picked up at the local store, and it's like, hey guys, he spooked him. I think it's quite the handicap to be invisible all your life. I can't help but feel that would be a detriment to your friend-making skills. I'm just saying. So SLAYERSBOXER is breaking down his rocks. He is thinking about taking his third, a nice, close, easy defendable third, whereas EGINKA is going for the long-distance third, which, you know, once you're running all over the place, like, let's say, I'm throwing the camera everywhere, but let's say SLAYERSBOXER decides to attack this. I mean, EGINKA is going to have to put his units in this choke, this pass, and try to defend that. And then SLAYERSBOXER could easily just counterattack the second and create a situation where EGINKA really has to split his units up. I do like the placement of these cannons. It really stops Marines from stim running by and, you know, doing their bullshit behind the line that they so often like to do. There's a warp prism here, and it looks like it did get some kills. So if you guys if you want to see that, move back, watch the player cam, because it will be in the player cam and all that stuff. We do have a Robo Bay going down, and that means Colossus are on the way. And finally getting some weapons upgrades. I don't think he's gotten anything up until this point, which is an interesting decision. Okay, so he did get the armor first. Yeah, the rule of thumb generally with Protoss versus Terran is to get that armor upgrade before the weapons upgrade. But not all players like to do that, but it seems to be the trend. So he did get that armor first, now getting the weapons one. The weapons one definitely benefit the Colossus, because, you know, their job isn't to tank. They want to do as much damage before they die to Vikings as possible. As you basically know your Colossus are going down. You want them to kill fucking everything, and then they're allowed to die. That's cool. So it's pretty much the Vikings' job too. You just shoot like a motherfucker. You tape that fire button down, and if you die, that's cool. Just make sure you kill everything else. So DTs are going down. They're gonna try to get an SCV. They're gonna snipe the supply depot too, but a missile turret does go down for SLAYERSBOXER. The DTs are gonna hack the shit out of it and pick up and leave, which does pull the army out of position, but just a few. So that is the key fundamental to being a good harasser player, knowing when to pick up and leave, just doing little bits of damage, making your opponent frustrated, but not losing anything. He knows when he's been there. He does not overstay his welcome. And so observers just chilling. They're seeing any kind of unit traffic through these two locations. They can spot drops that are moving around the corners of the map, because the drop isn't going to come down the middle, or it'll be scouted by the tower. Things like that. So very good map control. Constant abuse from the Protoss player. Looks like he's going to be dropping again. And yes, DTs are going down on the supply depot. And the factory is flying around, just being an asshole, just radioing back to SLAYERSBOXER, being like, yeah, there's a lot of shit here. And SLAYERSBOXER is probably not impressed with that fact, but what do? More DTs just causing trouble, forcing scans, which I like that a lot. Scans are less mules, and really the mineral input to a Terran player is so frustrating when you're trying to out macro them, that making them use scans is awesome. So we are seeing quite the Colossus count. We have 3 Colossus here for Inca, and he is now pushing out. What is he doing? I don't know. SCV is like, hey guys, what's up? Cannon, and then that happened. You saw it. Just missed a DT drop again. I'm curious as to what kind of damage it did, but you know what? I'm thinking SLAYERSBOXER should really just, you know, leave some units here. That would be nice. But there is a Marauder left behind now. He's probably going to get gangbanged. But we do see 2 Vikings coming up to the top left corner. Are they just going to deal with this warp prism? It looks like they might, but it doesn't matter. The DTs are on the ground. They're going to be sniping SCVs. Is that Marauder on hold position? No, he's on attack move. But the DTs get the best of him, and a Viking does snipe that warp prism. And the army comes back here to deal with this. He cannot afford to lose the income, but it's too late. And the army is now out of position, and Inca pushes up the map with his 4 Colossus, his weapons and armor. Weapons 2 now. That happened fast. Blink is on the way, so even if this engagement does not work, he will be in good shape to deal with whatever comes at him. Charge lots up, getting ahead of themselves, cutting off from the rest of the army from the force field, but doing a lot of damage, forcing the army to micro backwards and just taking hits from the Colossus. The Colossus are doing so much damage. He's now moving up onto the high ground, taking shots at SLAYERSBOXER's production. This army is so soft from the Colossus fire, and SLAYERSBOXER loses the game to EGINKA. EGINKA takes this game away from SLAYERSBOXER with some very nice harass, some very strong micro, and very nice unit decision and build order. I really like that build order, not jumping to Colossus right away. I hope you guys enjoyed this game as much as I did. Guys, I'm Assistant Incarnum. You're watching StarCraft Inc., and I'll see you guys next time.